Welcome back to another episode of the Football Frauds Podcast. My name is Miles.
I'm Connor.
And I'm Matt.
And all three of us are frauds who live in Wisconsin. We're young white men trying to pursue wealth and capital. And
This is a money ploy.
In our free time on weekends, weeknights, we like to talk some football. We're here to have some fun today. We're talking AFC East. AFC East. We've got the New York Jets up first. We're going to jump right into it. The New York Jets were putrid this year. They struggled in a lot of different ways. Couldn't find any competent quarterback play. They gave Justin Fields 2 for 40 over the offseason.
Yeah, I like the move at the time. I thought, the Sam Darnold, the Daniel Jones, the whatever, like if you have a guy that's in the middle tier, give him the money, give him a shot to find his way back. He did not find his way back.
Yeah. Made a lot of moves this during the season and some after the season to play for the future.
Yeah, I think if we're going to talk about their offseason, we got to hit the Sauce Gardner and the Quinnen Williams trades.
Yep.
I feel like they are both home runs. Obviously, there's like an inherent downside to like getting rid of your good players and resetting. But if you're the Jets, you're not going to be good in the next 3 to 4 years. And if you're able to like get top market value for guys like that, you just kind of have to do it. Given like where you're at as a friend, like it's obviously they weren't competent with those guys.
I think the Sauce Gardner one happened first, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like the Sauce Gardner one, I love for them. Getting two first for a corner where the play is so up and down, and they're not good right now. But then I think the Sauce Gardner one made the Quinnen Williams one make more sense.
Totally.
Because we already are giving away one player.
Yep.
We're not in a win now window even more. Let's just keep going that same direction.
Yeah. Right.
They got 2 firsts this year, 2 firsts next year. Do you guys know what else they...
A second. It was a first and second for Quinnen Williams.
Okay. Heck yeah, man. That's a pretty sick deal if you ask me.
And then the Colts fell apart.
Right. So they have 16 now instead of 28.
So, what a home run.
I know.
Home run.
Yeah, I guess... so to dive into where they're at, right now they're sitting at $74 million in cap space. They recently tagged Breece Hall. And so a lot of people think that means that they want to keep him, and they have said they want to keep him, but that also doesn't mean that they weren't holding him, so then they could also trade him.
Yeah.
It seems like anyone is on the table. Like no one is safe in New York.
I think they could trade him still, but it probably wouldn't be that great of a pick at this point. Already at $14 million. I know that they supposedly gave up a third rounder last year. They didn't want to trade him to the Chiefs. That's the rumor that went around. Feels like that. I would have liked that at the time.
Yeah.
But you don't want to just let him go because he's too talented for running back. I think he's one of the top 5 guys, and if he were on a better team than the Jets, you would know he's a top 5 guy.
Yeah.
But because of the Jets' dysfunction, it hasn't shown through yet.
Well, and another thing I think is that last year there were question marks, or I guess 2 years ago now there was question marks with Breece Hall. Last year he kind of showed that he still has it, and so I do think that there is more value for him even though he did get a year older.
Yeah.
They got, I think the hardest asset to get in football is a good young tackle, and they have 2 really nice cornerstones. If you had redrafted last year's draft, which we will do this summer by the way, Membu definitely would have went probably top 5. He's been awesome for them. And then on the other side of the line, they have
Olu Fashanu. 2 guys with length, athletic, and just like you can't really replace that. And obviously the rest of their roster sucks. But getting those assets and those guys is like huge towards roster building. And if you bring in a quarterback next year, it just makes a huge difference towards competency. And I think that's a fun point of this whole discussion is we like what they're doing from a roster management standpoint. But we hate what's going on with with Aaron Glenn, firing all the coordinators, bringing in Frank Reich.
Yeah.
He was going to bring in that guy who was at Michigan. He's old. He was at the Ravens and then the Giants and then Michigan.
Wink Martindale.
Wink Martindale.
Good pull.
They were going to bring him in, and then Aaron Glenn was like, no, I'm going to call plays. And then they pushed him out. And everything about their head coach and their coaching situation screams dysfunction, which almost is exciting for them. Like if they can bottom out, win the March for Arch, get a high quarterback next year with all those picks, this could be like
to the moon,
but
baby.
they can't win 7 games. They need to win 3 or 4.
Yeah, I do think that people talked a lot of crap about how they paid Justin Fields so much money, but no part of that in my mind was them. He's a quarterback. That wasn't like a massive deal for Justin Fields.
No, I think the move in the same way that I want someone to pay Malik Willis and see what happens. I liked the move at the time.
Exactly. Yeah. But is there any other like big things that we think that the Jets can do?
I'm really interested in what their draft strategy is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
They're sitting here at 2. They have their pick of Reese, Bailey, Bain, Styles now in the conversation. It was a lot of wide receiver talk earlier on in the process. Now that we've gotten further in the process, it seems like the wide receivers are falling out of the top 10 in mock drafts because
not elite enough.
It seems like there's a lot of second-round talent that GMs like post-combine.
Yeah, it's not scarcity. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Is that you don't have to reach because you can get it later.
And just looking at their roster, especially after this Jermaine Johnson trade, they traded out Jermaine Johnson, got in Devondre Sweat from the Titans. Their defensive end is their biggest hole. There's like no one on the roster.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't have it up in front of me, but it's just Will McDonald. He's a pass rusher.
Yeah.
You like him in that one, but he can't defend the run.
No.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's like corpses.
Yeah.
Reese is just sitting there staring them in the face.
Bain is supposed to be falling because Bain has no arms, but
Yeah.
they're gonna go edge right there. They need to.
Yeah.
need to.
Yeah, but you can't really listen to the falling though. I mean, the guy's an animal. And
That's like I still
Yeah.
wouldn't mind Bain there, but
Yeah.
I'm saying that's what's currently
Yeah.
happening.
yeah. No, I hear you there. Anything else we got on the Jets?
Do you think when Aaron Glenn came up to the GM 3 weeks after the season ended and was like, listen, I just want to blow this whole fucking thing up. We need a new coaching staff. We should just redo this. And the GM was like, that's a terrible idea. And he was like, wait,
Unless.
that's actually a great idea.
I know.
Let's just blow everything up, Aaron, and we'll definitely be here next year. That's a great idea. We'll win a bunch of games, and you'll be a great coach next year.
I really could see. I don't think that's how it worked, but
No.
I think it's
Yeah.
going to work out for the Jets if it goes right.
If I was a Jets fan, you don't like root for incompetence, but if you finished with 3 wins this year,
Yeah.
you're like,
I mean,
oh,
yeah,
bummer.
but also you guys have sucked for so long that it's like, what is another
Like,
year and a half? What's another 2 years?
When I see the Patriots get Drake May, the Bears get Caleb Williams, the Texans get C.J. Stroud, like not all these top quarterbacks work, but some of them do.
Yeah.
And to have the chance, I just think it's worth it.
All right, who we got up next?
Miami Dolphins.
Heck yeah.
They bring in our guy Jeff Halfley and the GM who looks just like him, John Hyphen. Resetting here. They got this huge Tua contract that they're letting go. They got this Tyreek money who they just released. They got all this built-up dead cap. A lot of talk to Malik Willis to the Dolphins. I don't know if Willis makes a ton of sense to the Dolphins given their cap situation, and I would guess since they just hired a coach this year, it feels like this is a start from zero. We're going to be terrible this year and build up. Signing Willis feels more like compete now. I would guess they just kind of rehab their cap, but there's no way of knowing if Halfley probably wants to compete.
Can I
now.
set the stage quick for where the Dolphins are really at?
Yeah.
So, like this past 4 years, the Mike McDaniel era, basically what happened is they immediately looked competent, and he wanted to go all in. They made trades for Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Ramsey, and Teron Armstead. So it's like you have to pay these players and give up draft capital. For Tyreek, it was 1, 2, and 3 fours. It was a first-round pick for Chubb. It was a third-round pick for Ramsey. So that worked for a bit. Like I think they had one season where they went 10-7. But then when you're making moves like this and you start to fall out, they have $153 million in dead cap to mostly those guys right now with Tua. And if you look up and down the roster, it is so deserted. Like everything is terrible. Everything is bad. I had a little fun. I just how many players on this team do I think are just good? Like you'd say, oh, that's a good player. I had 6. It's Patrick Paul. It's Devon Achane. It's Jalen Waddle. They have a linebacker. It's Zach Sealer. It's really bad. Oh, Minka Fitzpatrick. Jordan Brooks is the linebacker. It's 6 guys.
Didn't they release Chubb too?
Yep, they released Chubb. They released Tyreek. I think, they traded away Jalen Ramsey and got back Minka, so Minka's there. He's a little younger.
Yeah, I mean, the only positive is that they do have young talent on defense, and the idea is that you bring in Halfley and maybe he can do something.
Who's their young talent?
Chop.
Yeah, Chop's not bad.
Chop's fine.
Chop is Will McDonald, second version.
I think he had a better rookie season than he did a sophomore.
Oh.
He was fine. His pressure rates went down.
Yeah.
He's useless against the run. I don't honestly think so. Through 2 years, that pick is not looking to be a great pick where it was.
It's kind of a sick fucking name. It's definitely a
True.
upgrade your talent
so
on defense.
There's something I want to pose to you guys. A lot of people are saying the whole Malik Willis thing. Do you sign someone? Do you bring someone in?
Because of the Packers connection.
Because of the Packers connection. I don't think it makes sense. I think that you have Tua. Tua's not great. And if you need a bridge quarterback, you'd essentially put Tua on dead cap and then sign a Tua. It's
Davis Mills, Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
I could see them going really cheap veteran or like trading a late round pick for someone. Like maybe if the relationship with Tua is just bad, you want to reset that. Like don't overpay some random guy, but just go cheap and make it work, I guess.
Well, I mean, the thing is, but like you brought in a whole new regime.
Yeah.
So the idea is that there wouldn't be any bad blood. It'd be all.
But all the guys in the locker room still are like, hey, Tua kind of failed us, or like,
Hey,
are you still gonna like have? Is Tua gonna get you up in the morning?
What did Jeff Hafley say in his press conference? He said the first thing we're gonna do is bring in trust.
This BS.
He's gonna bring in trust, and once you have trust, you have belief, and once you have belief, you have trust. Once you have trust, you have accountability.
And accountability is love.
And maybe Tua just needs some love, man.
You know what?
Maybe Tua just needs some love.
That spoke to me. I think they're gonna win the Super Bowl now.
Yep, that's what I figured. But outside of that, we kind of touched on how their cap kind of sucks. Right now, they are -2 in the hole right now.
Yeah, right around even. -2 is where it's at.
And so they're gonna make some moves regardless. And pretty much every team that is in the negative will come out of the negative come Monday.
I saw a thing from John
Eric Sullivan.
Basically, like, we're going to be having to pay a lot of veteran guys the minimum. Like, he said that in a press conference.
Yeah.
So it's like, they're not disillusioned with what they are. They're terrible, and they have way too much dead cap. Like, they're just going to bring in bodies, but this is not going to be a good year for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I feel like if they try and add on a lot of high-cost free agents or trade up in the draft, that's like the opposite of what you want. You just kind of want them, if you're a Dolphins fan, to bottom out this year, reset. And since it's the first year of the regime, like you set a floor, okay, we suck, and let's build up from here. Like there's no pressure to be good this year.
Yeah. Then what they had picked 10 or 12 in the draft?
Pick 11.
11.
Cowboys 12, Bengals 10, Chiefs 9.
Yeah. It's pretty much said that they're going to take a D back.
Yeah. If they can get McCoy or
it seems like Delane McCoy is where it's going to drop to them.
I mean,
makes sense.
Even if you have Downs fall that far,
oh, I'm sure they love Downs.
anyone in the D back room.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys aren't big Storm Duck fans? You don't think
Dude.
Storm Duck has it?
Man,
Dude.
this defense is just rising in my head here as we talk about some of these names. We got Storm and fucking Chop.
Storm Duck.
It sounds like Pokemon.
Heck yeah.
I forget who was their Anthony Weaver. He actually did a decent job with the tools he had.
Yeah.
They traded away Jalen Phillips, who's now one of the top free agents, and they were okay. So I gave him a lot of credit. He reunited with the Ravens and Anthony Minter. What's his name?
Jesse Minter.
Gosh, I've been out of the game too long, fellas.
Dude,
Yeah.
McDaniel winning all those games year after year and overperforming with a terrible roster is very underrated.
I know.
Yeah.
He's going to be such a good candidate for head coach next year.
Oh, dude, he's going to come off the Harbaugh juice. Dude, have you seen the interviews with him and Harbaugh?
No, they've been stuff together already?
And the combine they had one. They're the fucking it's just like the weirdest little like Harbaugh's in psycho. He's insane. And McDaniel kind of matches his energy in a weird way.
I feel like McDaniel is like the perfect complement to a sicko, like a football dude.
Yeah.
But I guess kind of going into their roster a bit, on offense, they have clear need at wide receiver. It seems like the only real person they have is Waddle.
Totally.
And people talk about Malik Willis coming in. I think a better candidate to come into Miami is Romeo Doubs from the Packers. I think if you're going to make the Packers comp, the Willis thing doesn't really make that much sense at all. The Dobbs does.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it would be really tough for them to pay anyone over $10 million in free agency.
Yeah,
Right.
but the thing is, everything always gets shaken up a bit.
I get
Everything
that, but
always
like
gets shaken up.
they have you can have $70 million in dead cap and move stuff around. They have 150.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
they basic like if they were to do that, I would call it stupid.
They couldn't get
Yeah.
Rasheed Walker, Quay, and Dobbs even if they wanted
No,
to.
this has to be a reset year. Like they pushed it to the limit. They don't have a lot of young picks, like not a lot of young talent that has on a cheap contract right now, and they have so much dead cap.
And their offensive line can definitely use some work. I mean, Tua's been in the hospital more than on the field forever. And, they kind of took a swing last year on Savania. And
Traded up for him. Another big trade-up, high-leverage move where they're just like betting on themselves to gain value in a big trade. Didn't work.
yeah, I mean, what is it, the worst rated?
I think he played 900 snaps, so he's basically a full-time starter. I'm pretty sure he's like the worst graded full-time player on PFF. He's at a 28. You can get 28 when you have 5 snaps because you're not out there.
Yeah.
To play a whole I don't know if his mental game changed or if because lots of guys had him as a second-round pick. He was universally kind of in that range.
Yeah.
I do not know what happened to him.
Yeah, it was not a good look at all. Do we have anything else on
A 14 pass block grade.
Jesus.
14.
that? Is booty.
Holy fuck.
I feel like I could get a 14 pass block grade.
You think you could get a 14 pass block?
I know I couldn't, but it's just I've never seen anything close to that low. I think it's because he's a rookie, they wanted to keep giving him a chance.
Yeah.
Usually, if you're that bad, they just put some other body.
If you invest that much and trade up for a guy, you have to keep playing him.
It's so weird.
All right. So where are we on to next year?
Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills. Hell
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Is that an actual thing?
That's what what's his name used to say on the freaking
I was gonna say
ESPN
beater.
roundup.
Boomer.
Chris Berman.
Boomer.
Bow, 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 bow.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
All right.
Bills lose to the Broncos after beating the previous year in the playoffs. They're right there. Allen makes not even a critical mistake. He throws a good ball, a good deep ball. Broncos DB, I think it's McMillan, rips it out of his hands.
Yep.
They go down again. And then obviously the story we've talked about where their owner comes in and literally admits that I hadn't thought about it at all. We came into that final meeting.
We still disagree with you.
He came into that final meeting. The quote was verbatim, I hadn't thought about firing him at all. And then I went to the locker room and saw those vibes, and I considered it for the first time. Fires him a few days later.
Fake news.
They reset, and then they bring in their OC.
Yeah.
In the press conference, which is a disaster, they shit on Keon Coleman the whole time before they hired a head coach, and then they bring in the guy who is like Keon Coleman's guy.
Yeah, I brought this up in a previous episode, but yeah, it was like the first interview the guy had. What's the new coach's name?
Joe Brady.
Joe Brady. Yeah, he in the interview he said the first thing I did when I got hired, I went over to Keon Coleman. And I said, the best thing that ever happened to Keon Coleman was Joe Brady becoming the head coach of the Buffalo Bills.
And Keon Coleman went, thanks, coach.
It's almost like a reverse, like Tom Brady. It's like if Robert Kraft, when they drafted Tom Brady in like the 15,000th round, went over to Tom Brady, he was like, the best thing that happened to Tom Brady was Robert Kraft drafting you.
Amen.
Bills had an elite offensive line.
I would say my tune in that whole thing was like, man, this Bills thing sucks.
Yeah.
They got Jim Leonard as their DC. I liked.
Yeah.
Gosh, my name. I've been out of the game too long. The head coach of the Bills was Sean McDermott.
Yeah.
Bringing in Jim Leonard. Not only do we have that experience with him at Wisconsin, a lot of people I respect really like Jim Leonard.
Yeah.
Nate Tice loves Jim Leonard.
I could see this thing going pretty well for them if he's able to elevate it in 1 or 2 years. And maybe the situation wasn't the end of the world moving on from McDermott.
Yeah.
I still think that there was no plan there.
No.
He got in the locker room and was like, this is bad vibes. I haven't thought about this. It's been too long. We need a new coach.
I think he thought about it.
They got through the process and they said,
there's no way he didn't.
I guess we'll just hire Joe
I don't trust
Brady.
his word. I think he's trying to tell a story to make it sound good. Like, I still love Sean. It came across my brain. He has all year to think about firing him. He has all day, every day to think about it.
Just going by the facts.
Yeah, I mean...
So if someone says something nowadays, it's a fact. Is that how...
In an interview, if you do say something as a statement of why you fired a guy, that is generally considered
Viewers,
fact.
let's get political real quick.
leave in the comments your honest political take.
Yeah.
That's also related to football.
Tell us who you voted for. They have a ton of free agents leaving.
Yeah.
The offensive line has been the strength of their team. Like
Yep.
you think Josh Allen, but really their run game has been top 5 the last few years.
Right.
With James Cook and that offensive line. And 2 key pieces of that, their center, Connor McGovern, and their left guard, David Edwards, both graded out pretty well the last few years. They're free agents, and the Bills can't pay them to bring them back.
Yeah.
So, like, the strength of their team is part of it's leaving right now. I'll be curious to see if they can keep that up.
Yeah.
This is the result of years of being really good and having low draft picks and then having to pay guys that are good.
Totally.
They're giving 20 – hold on, let me see this. Sorry. They're giving 18% of their cap to Josh Allen, $56 million this year. That's obviously –
I think they're going to restructure it, put it down before Monday starts with free agency, but we'll see.
Yeah. So right now they're sitting $8 million over the cap.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to do something regardless.
Yeah, I think it's like Deion Dawkins. His contract can be restructured. Josh Allen, Spencer Brown's their other tackle. They're going to get under using some of that. The Bills aren't that rich. They don't love to move that much money into the future, but they're going to do something.
Yeah.
The other thing is they have a bunch of guys still on rookie contracts. Shakir's only making $6 million a year. James Cook is making $5 million. Christian Benford's making $7 million. All these guys they're going to have to get extensions to. The bill's going to come up soon. The bill for the Bills is going to come up soon.
I think some of those, at least Shakir and James Cook have extensions, but they may have not kicked in yet.
Oh, good call. I'm wrong.
In terms of needs, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
You think this is an elite team, but really this is the Josh Allen and plus the offensive line.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you look up and down this roster, it is not one of the better. It's a fine roster, but it's not that special.
So if you could make one big splash this offseason, if you want to see them do one thing, and that can be like a larger, like a broader term thing, not just like one move. If they can do one thing this offseason, what would you say they should do?
They're brought up a lot in the Max Crosby sweepstakes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know if that makes sense given all the other holes in their roster.
I don't see how you pay him.
I think Crosby makes a lot more sense for the Ravens or the Eagles where they already have a competent roster behind him. Giving up a first and 2 seconds or first, second, and third for Crosby feels like an overpay given how depleted the rest of their roster is.
And they're like resetting. You don't if you're the owner, you want to have some more faith in your coaching staff before you like overextend. You don't want to do a Dolphins thing where you get a new coach and we're going to trade picks and pay guys a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah.
Feels like they're going receiver in the first round. It's a deep receiver class this year. Omar Cooper, a huge riser, is a common mock to the Bills. He was a 5th-round pick like 2 months ago. Now he's a first-rounder. Receivers obviously a huge need. They don't have anybody who can separate on the outside consistently.
If you look at the last few years, they gave free agent money to Curtis Samuel, Josh Palmer, and then they drafted Keon Coleman.
And then they had the stint with Stephon Diggs as well.
Well, they traded him away because of the same money situation that's going on now. So last year they were getting snaps from Tyrell Shavers. Never heard of him. He was doing fine out there compared to the guys that they actually paid.
Yeah.
And then they brought in that Brandon Cooks. He was the guy that had that downfield route.
Oh, that was him. Jesus Christ, he's still around.
Brandon Cooks is like 34, and he's doing important routes in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's a need for them.
To be honest, just like the Lions, it feels like the Bills kind of missed their window. Like in the NFL, you have usually if you have young talent that pans out, you have like a 2 to 3 year window where your young talent draft picks are there and you have guys you're paying and you just have to win in the playoffs. They didn't execute. Like I don't feel that optimistic about their ability to build a great roster. Like how are they going to be able to build an elite roster?
I think they'll be top 5 in the AFC probably.
Yeah.
But they'll just have to get lucky. Like they're not going to be an actual tyrant or anything.
They'll have to hit 2 draft picks, and they'll have to be really healthy in the Super Bowl, and then they'll have a chance.
Yep.
Well, the thing is, they don't have money to pay for an offensive line in free agency. There's no money for it, and that's why I think that I'm almost 100% certain they're going to go interior offensive line in the first round this year.
Okay.
They have a need at center and at left guard.
Yeah, good point.
And so, though it's money in the free agency to get wide receiver, there's more of a need for offensive line, and your franchise guy that you're paying $50-some million a year to, you want to keep him healthy. You don't want to have him go down, and then you're really screwed. And this is maybe the last year of your window.
Who knows? Emmanuel Pregnone from Oregon will probably be sitting there in the late first round.
Yep.
It seems like Fano and Maui, no, I won't drop that far.
Yeah.
But Fano's dropping a lot in drafts. He seems like more of a guard.
He has short arms.
Yeah.
I think guard actually does make a lot of sense. It kind of like fulfills their identity of their team. So that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, and also it's like a 2 birds, 1 stone. You think about how it's protecting Josh Allen, but also it frees up James Cook.
Gives them the run because obviously Allen thrives off the fact that they hand off the ball at a pretty high rate. He's able to just do a goal play.
I really like that. You get Pregnone in there, and the dude's like 8 feet tall, 700 pounds, and can move.
Fucking mauler.
I think they just need to go. They have so many needs. I think they can pretty much just go best player available.
It's so true.
It probably could fit into one of their slots where they aren't that strong.
They need edge really bad too.
Like what? They're the QB and running back they don't need. And then the tackles they don't need. Otherwise, anywhere else on their tight end.
They could easily go edge, I feel like, in the first round.
They could go edge. They could go interior on defense if a guy fell. They could go safety. They could go offensive line. They could go receiver.
Linebacker,
they could go linebacker.
Yeah, really.
So,
all right, we got one more thing for the Bills.
I want to touch on some of their draft picks from last year. They took T.J. Sanders and Landon Jackson in the 2nd and 3rd rounders.
Yeah.
And so guys that are defensive linemen that you hope can come into your rotation and be pieces. Landon Jackson didn't play at all, even though he wasn't injured. And TJ Sanders graded out terribly. So it's just those little things that you don't think about, like, oh, why were the Bills not quite as good this year? Well, they needed to replenish their defensive line with these young starters. Didn't anything.
Work.
So it's just those things always creep up. Like, if you want to be good, you got to have stars. You got to do this. You got to hit free agency. But you need to have your second and third rounders contribute meaningfully to your team.
Yeah. I think they built their roster around the idea of having to beat the Chiefs. And they said, let's establish a really good run game so we can keep the ball away from Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. And let's draft Maxwell Harrison so we can match up man versus man against all the speed the Chiefs have in the playoffs.
Across their whole defensive backs, their grades against the pass are way higher than their grades against the run. They have terrible run tackling DBs. So I think, to your point, totally built to stop Patrick Mahomes. And not a lot. But now we're seeing a lot of teams go more into the run game the last few years, and they do not have the secondary to deal with it.
I didn't like the Harrison pick. I mean, he was fast. I mean, if you're trying to beat the Chiefs, it makes sense. But he's just fast. He's small. He's light, and he's fast.
And people thought maybe Will Johnson, he was falling because of his injury. I thought it was fine at the time.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
The New England Patriots. It's the highest preseason odds to make the Super Bowl ever. Like, that's happened in the past 30 or 40 years. They were like 50 or 60 to 1 coming off a 3-win season or 4-win season with May. They take Will Campbell at 4 overall. He was hurt coming off an MCL in that playoff run, but by God did he get fucking cooked by every single Seahawks defender. He had the most pass rush losses in one game, like all season, like 13.
Yeah, dude, I was gonna say that for a team that just won the Super Bowl, I think they could literally get better at every single position that they have on their team. I don't even make any sense.
They had really good coaching. Zach Kerr, he's now their defensive coordinator. He was like an assistant. But and Josh McDaniels, I think, did a really good job. And Drake, it's those coordinators, and it's Drake May and it's Mike Vrabel. The rest of their team, I think guys played better than you would hope. But they have a lot of needs still, for sure.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, even going into the season, I thought that their wide receiver room could definitely get better. And now Stephon Diggs is looking like he's not even going to play this year. And it's like, I mean, Keyshawn Boutte is a good player, but what are you going to do?
They released Stephon Diggs today, like
breaking
4
news.
hours ago.
Dang.
Yep.
So just diving into that Stephon Diggs thing. At first I see that and I'm like, what? He graded out really well last year.
Yeah.
And he was their most reliable guy, like especially on the gotta have it third down man cover situations. They're really going to Diggs a lot. To me, I think that's a sign that they're going to go after Romeo Doubs or Alec Pierce.
I like that.
Or someone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they're paying Diggs. They got $17 million back. You can put a large portion of that towards one of those guys.
Yeah, I don't think it makes sense to spend on wide receiver in free agency if you don't have the quarterback, and they've proven that they have it, and it makes sense to take a swing now.
And they got the cap space.
What is their cap space at?
I have it at 56 now that they cut Stephon Diggs, $56 million.
There's enough room there to do a lot. The Patriots here are hitting a window similar to the Bengals a few years ago, where they started having success, where you have this roster that isn't ready. You overachieve, and then you're sitting there at the back end of the first round, where they'll probably be for the next 3 or 4 years. It makes me worried about their capacity to actually build a competent roster when they have a hard schedule. Like, I don't think anyone thinks the Patriots would have been a 14-win team against a league average schedule.
No.
They're gonna have a first place schedule next year, and I bet their over/under on wins will probably be like 9.5, 10.5.
Yeah.
I think they're going to compete, but I don't think they're going to be crazy.
But that's the crazy part, because now people are going to come in with the expectations that they're going to be something that they're not.
No, they're not. They're not crazy.
Here's a question: we did a draft earlier in one of our previous episodes talking about which franchise we'd most want to be the GM of. Like going through all the franchises in the NFL, you get to draft like which franchise we want to take over and be the GM of. On Connor's board, he had the Patriots first overall.
Yeah.
Given that how well Drake May was playing, the Vrabel hire, their DC, who they just promoted, did a great job down the stretch. They just seem to be coached really well.
The cap.
That Super Bowl, it's really easy to get a bunch of, get very misguided by one single game, kind of like the Chiefs last year with the Eagles. I feel like everyone was tearing apart the Chiefs after the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Everyone's tearing apart the Pats offensive line. Where do we think that are the Pats still first overall for you, Connor, in terms of franchises you would take?
If you're looking at the whole picture, yeah, they're still up there. The thing is, you have holes. but you can fill them. There's things that you can do to fix it. It's not like you have holes and you have $100 million over the cap.
Yeah, right.
So,
to me, my criteria was pretty basic. They have the youngest elite quarterback in the NFL. I think that puts them at number 1 or number 3, or right up there.
How do we feel about Crosby to the Pats? They're sitting there in this window here with Drake May and his rookie contract. They got 3 years left. They're going to add on the 5th year, obviously. They have a short little window here where they could leverage some draft picks, give up a first, a second, and a third, and make an all-in move. And their defense was so good last year without a lot of talent.
Yeah.
That might make sense.
Thing is, I'm not 100% sure on it, but I'm pretty sure the run defense was their weak spot. Their DBs are just sick. Their DBs are insane.
Yeah, Carlton Davis and
Christian Gonzalez.
Christian Gonzalez
is a dog.
Honestly, after watching that playoff run, I have no doubt in my mind that he is my number 1 corner in the league right now.
Emmanuel Forbes got taken before him in the draft.
Dog. Fraud.
6 picks his senior year.
Got
Fraud
taken
watch.
for him in the draft.
Ball skills.
No, he's a legend. Yeah, he looked really good in that run. No one could separate against him.
Yeah.
I feel like the massive overpay for a free agent never works out, where a guy who's in the infrastructure of the Eagles, where he's getting supported by Jalen Carter on the interior, great pass rush. You pick a guy where it's like, okay, he's got all this great production, his grades look good, and then you give him $28-30 million a year. It's like, I feel like that never works out.
No.
It worked out.
Yeah, no. He ascended.
Yeah. I think he went up a level post-Eagles.
He had a weird career. It's weird to be on the back of a roster for multiple years, and then in year 3 get good, year 4 get pretty great, and in year 5 become a star. That does not happen too often.
No.
Yeah, I guess the one thing that I'd have them try to fill is offensive line. It seems like it's their biggest need right now.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a young quarterback, the more time that you can give him to process, the better the outcome's going to be. There's a lot of talk about Will Campbell and how he's not a left tackle. He's a guard. I think he was all right. He's not an all-star left tackle, but I don't think that now we need to draft another left tackle or find a replacement left tackle because Will Campbell can't do it. It's a little unfair. It's his first year.
Mm-hmm.
What did you
And
expect?
he had that strained MCL. What was it? Like a partially torn MCL?
He's out for 6 weeks or so. He came back earlier than expected.
Yeah. And the other thing is he was still good enough to get his team to the Super Bowl. He wasn't terrible.
The film on him was pretty good up until after he hurt his MCL.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If they could redo it, they would definitely take Membu.
Yeah.
If we do a redraft,
Yeah.
they would take Calvin Banks from the Saints, no question.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they can't do that now. It's not a massive miss to me. We'll see how it plays out next year when he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just thinking about left tackle, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So I guess you got anything else on the Patriots?
I have defensive end. They're losing K'Lavon Chason, and that's just their need where it's like they had a lot of guys that they just kind of threw that played well for them enough.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in that point in the draft, they could go offensive line, they could go defensive end. But receiver, like the big money positions, defensive end, offensive line, receiver, I think free agency in the draft, we're going to see him try to address those things.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I have safety. They're losing Jalen Hawkins, who played well for them this year. I can see them hitting up safety at some point coming up, and they're going to have a chance to do a lot of this because they have the money to do it.
Yeah.
Fellas, we made a scene change here. As you can see, our scenery is different in the background. We adjusted our studio. Things are looking pretty fucking good. We're hitting our stride as a podcast, right? We got a straight line forward. We're fucking taking that road straight down the line. I'm proud of us. I feel like we're starting to find kind of where we want to be as a podcast.
And I think we wanted to announce we're on the road to 1 million subscribers, right?
Yeah, we're close. We're close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to be our 1 millionth subscriber, please subscribe down below.
Yeah.
Please do.
And if you need a change of scenery as well, the only thing that's stopping it is you. You can control your own destiny.
All you got to do is move a treadmill into a different room in your basement, and all of a sudden, everything changes.
And you need to get LED lamps that are somehow synced up. I don't know how
They're
that works.
synced up. It's new technology. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah. All right, you guys ready? 3,
Oh, wait. No,
2,
Noah.
1.
We'll do
Fraud.
it next episode.
Noah,
To
ready
start
for
the
next
episode.
episode. And we're going to fraud
No, we love
out.
you. 3, 2, 1. Fraud out.